Welcome back. You tuned into News and Views this Thursday morning, 11th December 2025, with me, your host, Maria Mia. Unfamiliar voice at this time of the morning, usually mid morning or mid afternoon. I'm on the airways and I feel all charged up, all fired up this morning. I'm normally not what you term a morning person, but thoroughly enjoying the segments, enjoying being in your company. And now, in keeping with our theme that we're focusing regarding being away this time of the year and road travel, we're focusing on road travels, but more importantly, South African roadblock rights. Most South Africans misunderstand their roadblock rights. There are five common myths about what SEPs can and cannot do this festive season. As the festive season begins, thousands of South Africans will hit our highways, and SAPS roadblocks become part of our season's safety ritual. While these stops help keep roads safer, and many motorists don't know where their rights at the South African roadblock begin and end. That uncertainty can turn a routine check into unnecessary tension. So, before you head out for December holiday, here's what every driver needs to know about roadblock rights according to a legal expert. Law enforcement officers play a crucial role in keeping our roads safe, but motorists still have the right to lawful treatment, says Christy Haslam from DSS Attorneys. Below are the most common misconceptions about roadblock rights in South Africa and what the law actually says. Myth number one: you can refuse anything the police ask for. Reality: you are legally required to stop and follow ASAP's roadblock rules at an officially authorized roadblock. Officers must be in uniform, and a regional or national police commissioner must approve the roadblock. You are entitled to ask for proof that the roadblock has been authorized, says Haslam. Random or unauthorized stops could be unlawful, and so are vehicle searches without unreasonable cause. It is myth. Another myth: it is illegal to record at a police roadblock. Reality: you may film as long as you don't interfere. It is not illegal to film law enforcement officers at a roadblock in South Africa. Haslam says you have the right to record your interactions as long as you remain respectful, avoid obstructing the roadblock, and do not interfere with duties. Filming protects both sides and ensures transparency during South African roadblock checks. Another myth: police can arrest you for no reason. Reality: there must be reasonable suspicion or lawful reason. Offi- Officers may arrest you if you refuse a lawful instruction, such as a breathalyzer test. You are suspected of drunk driving. You are found with illegal items, have outstanding warrants. They cannot arrest you without a legal reason or use force without justification. If you are arrested without due process or injured through misconduct, you may have grounds for civil or personal injury claim, Haslam explains. The law allows you to hold authorities accountable, civil or personal. My apologies. The law allows you to hold authorities accountable. Myth, another myth: if I'm polite, I don't need to worry. Reality matters, but responsible driving matters more. Knowing your rights at a South African roadblock helps, but avoiding trouble starts with responsible behavior. And now I have somebody who I regard as a leading authority when it comes to road travel, road safety, anything related to driving in roads, and that is brother Ashref Ismail, who is the chief facilitator of FleetMax DriiveSMART, and he is going to support us and help us to be road smart, but more importantly, to be responsible drivers passengers and road users, including pedestrians. So let us welcome him to News and Views. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Ashref Ismail. And like in our circles, you are uh, regarded as the ustad of road management and road safety and anything road. So welcome, and please help us and educate us so that inshallah this year can be a safe holiday season. Already on Monday morning, we were greeted with the very sad and tragic accident on it was N14 just near Woodbank, where sadly, there were 7 fatalities, including a Muslim family from Lenasia who had passed away through a tragic road accident. So, inshallah, help us to understand what are the most important road safety rules people need to remember during this festive season.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Mariam, and thanks for a wonderful introduction. I thought for a moment you're going to call me Mufti of Road Safety. I'm waiting for that
We
title
could
to
use
come.
that now.
I'm waiting for that one. I still got a long way to go, inshallah. And greetings to all our viewers as well. Yes, Sister Mariam, as you correctly mentioned, it's that time of the year again when we as South Africans, this is our second busiest period as far as traffic flows go. The first one is obviously a very concentrated 5 day period, which we consider as the Easter weekend. The festive season, is a more protracted one where we have almost 30 days of volume traffics along major arterial routes. We've got obviously school closures, we've got people heading off to the coast, the people from the coast running away from there, going upwards inland because of all the valleys and the Gauteng coming down. And then, of course, we have mine workers who are going back home to their various countries as well, neighboring states. We've got a huge flux of motorists, and of course in between there business still continues, the deliveries still have to continue, so we still find lots of buses as well as freight transport still plying the major arterial routes. So this creates a great deal of pressure and obviously creates a lot of tension on the road, and of course conflict, which we can see results in major crashes, etc. So some of the common things I would always say to people is the 3 P's. Number one, before you embark on any journey, be it a short journey or a long journey, especially long journeys, right? You need to be prepared. It's important that you make sure that your vehicle is in a roadworthy condition. So if you've been traveling, just doing your daily commute all week, all month, all year long, now is the time when you're going to be undertaking a trip to Cape Town, Durban. Lucky you if you're getting a break to enjoy your holidays. This is the time to make sure that your vehicle has been serviced and inform the workshop technicians that, listen, I'm planning or undertaking this long journey. Please, can you ensure that the vehicle, all the safety critical items like tires, brakes, shock absorbers, steering mechanism, etc., and of course all the electrical components are indeed in a operable condition, that they are in a roadworthy condition as well. The other thing is also to be mentally prepared as a driver. Make sure that driver fitness is very important. Are you fit to drive? Are you healthy? Are you alert? Are you under medication? Please don't try to break any records or whatever. There's this thing about us wanting to travel from Johannesburg to Durban in 4 hours, in 5 hours. I'm not sure why we would want to break any such records. The N3 is probably Africa's busiest corridor, and the Durban Johannesburg, particularly the Durban Johannesburg end of it, carries a huge amount of traffic, especially heavy traffic. The section between Pietermaritzburg and Durban, and of course, northbound from Durban to Pietermaritzburg as well, is under construction. They are converting 2 lanes into 4 lanes, which once it's complete is going to be heaven to drive on. But for now, there's major construction along that entire section, and passing Fields Hill and all those areas there. Trust me, it is a huge hazardous section of the road. Please exercise extreme care. So be prepared, be patient on the roads. There's going to be, like I said, construction stop and go sites. There's going to be people who upset you. Try to not engage them. Don't get involved in road rage issues. And then also, understand that you are on holiday, and so are many other people as well. Everybody wants to reach their destination safely and swiftly, and of course confidently as well. Let's not turn a holiday journey into something that is gut wrenching and record breaking or anything such as that. And then, of course, most important, let's be polite with one another. I think currently in South Africa, we are probably more polarized than we have ever been. We all our bad behaviors and our attitudes, our values and beliefs manifest itself on the road. When we get into a public space, that's when we start becoming angry. The slightest provocation triggers us, and it just becomes absolutely unnecessary. So take it easy, read your duas, prepare, and of course take rests every 2 hours or every 200 kilometers. You don't need to be measuring yourself, oh, it's 2 hours or it's 200 kilometers, I need to come to a rest now. Your body will tell you, and you just pull off, take it easy, take a brisk walk. And with our people, unfortunately, we like our savories, and our savories are like filled and laden with ghee and oil and things that tire us out and bring the onset of fatigue. Let us just try to keep it fresh, keep it nuts, keep it dry fruit and biltong and stuff like that. Snacks that are actually healthy, that don't actually promote the fatigue. Try to go for those, inshallah, and just enjoy the trip. That's the whole idea.
Yes, it's the journey and not the destination. The journey in totality, and that's what I always say. And I think that's what our mindset set should be. I enjoy visiting all these farm padstala and things like that, because that is really part. And I think then that also changes the mindset, that you are much more relaxed. And you said the driver will know. I think it's more the passengers, especially the little ones, will tell you when you need a break, and they will be your cue and guide for that ice cream or the loo break. So, yes, and don't see that as a frustration or hindrance. I just want to get to my destination. And it's so, let's now speak about um, pedestrians and cyclists. How should they protect themselves, especially this festive season on sometimes heavily congested roads? And also, I think pedestrians at night, when they're there for visibility. So, can we just touch upon a bit of cyclists and pedestrians?
Yes, Sister Mariam, and this is such an important touch point simply because if you look at our annual statistics, according to the Road Traffic Management Corporation, more than 45% of all our annual fatalities comprise of pedestrians. That puts them, pedestrians, cyclists, and also commuters for that matter, passengers, in what is called the vulnerable road user group. Pedestrians, if you look at it, 45 out of every 100 people killed are pedestrians. That is unacceptable by any standard. So I think what we need to be extra careful of is, and we should be aware of this as well, the moment we step out of a car, we too become pedestrians. And sometimes we tend to become reckless, we become a bit negligent as well. And clearly in South Africa, this is what basically plays out. You'll find that pedestrians, especially on freeways, that is unacceptable. Nighttime also, they are on a freeway, they're wearing clothes that make them invisible. Sometimes they are intoxicated, sometimes they are distracted, they've got things coming out of their ears, and most times you'll see pedestrians not crossing, they are jaywalking, not crossing a dedicated pedestrian crossing lines in the city and built up areas. So these are the type of things that we need to, as motorists, think ahead, plan ahead, anticipate, and predict that these are going to be the challenges we face. Remember, it's not a question of who's right or who's wrong. Uh, a pedestrian weighing roughly 60 to 65 kilograms average weight has absolutely no chance against a vehicle that weighs 1.5 to 2 tons, right? Traveling at a speed above 60 kilometers per hour. Scientifically, it has been proven that if you hit a pedestrian at any speed above 50 kilometers per hour, depending on their age and size, of course, their chances of survival are very, very slim. So, as a motorist, we need to think defensively, we need to be proactive and make sure that we anticipate and prepare ourselves for these type of hazards. Cyclists exactly the same as well, simply because together with motorcyclists as well, and I mean we see these scooter delivery tracks all over the show, your Checkers 6060, your Pick and Pay, ASAPs, your Mr. Delivery, all these guys, right? They all have made a promise to get your delivery to a particular point within a certain period of time, and clearly that puts them at huge risk bearing in mind that a motorcycle can zip in and out, making them literally invisible, which makes it by law that they have to ride with their headlamps switched on. But as motorists, again, we need to constantly be aware, make sure our mirrors are just adjusted correctly, both your two angels, out external left and rear view mirror, as well as your interior rear view mirrors as well.
Let's now move on to the rights and responsibilities if you are stopped by police or traffic officer, and then also when your behavior during a routine roadblock to ensure safety and cooperation for everybody involved. How do you approach such situations?
So, Sister Miriam, I always say there are two sides to every coin. Yes, we all are human. We are all fallible. We make mistakes. And as such, we must understand that the role of a traffic law enforcement or any police official for that matter is to enforce the law. Yes, in South Africa, the culture of law compliance is very, very low for a variety of reasons, not least of which is the issues around competence, incompetence, corruption, ineptitude, all those type of things. I always say, at the end of the day, especially if you know you did wrong, you over exceeded the speed limit, you overtook on a barrier line, you went through a red light. These are all dangerous, reckless maneuvers that can lead to fatal crashes. But whatever the case might be, if you get pulled over, remember these are officers, these are people who are just doing their jobs. Now, the anger and the frustration comes in when we come in with an attitude. Many a times myself too, we've done things wrong, etc. But if you just approach the entire scene with a very humble, very polite, very friendly, and cooperative demeanor, the fact of the matter is, let's start with rule number one: obey all road traffic rules and regulations at all times. Right? Let's just start there. If we do that, already there's nothing to worry about. Problems come in when we do something wrong, and then they pull us over, and then we become arrogant, we become cheeky, and we start asking them, yeah, but what about the taxi guys? You don't do anything about them. You do. We see it. We see this on social media all the time. If you go to any of these platforms, you'll see people having unnecessary arguments, aggravating the situation, becoming even abusive against these people. Now, you must remember this time of the year, you're going to come across many, many what is called multidisciplinary roadblocks. Multidisciplinary meaning that there could be more than one or two different agencies working at one single operation. This is definitely not the place. I mean, at any time it's not the place, but definitely not here. More so not at the multidisciplinary roadblock where you now want to antagonize the situation, you want to aggravate the situation, all of which is going to end badly. So my advice to you is make sure you comply. I always tell people comply first, complain later. If you did something wrong, apologize. Be simple. You can plead poverty, insanity, ignorance, everything, and just be human about it. Even if he's already started writing, trust me, he will give you a reduced fine. The traffic officer has the discretion to do that. So why don't you make yourself such a person that you humble yourself and get away with as little drama as possible? If it happens that things escalate, again, you shouldn't be the one to escalate it. You have a right to record the entire scene with your cell phone camera. A lot of officers hate it. Many of them will tell you poppy act, the Protection of Public Information Act. No, no, no. The Constitution is very clear on this, and there is a decided case where even the traffic chief of Tshwane Metro had to issue an instruction to all the officers saying that yes, you are allowed to be recorded by a member of the public. And when you do so, there's just two conditions. Number one, that you understand you cannot be like, so close to the operation where you interfere with the operation itself. The other thing is you must remember is you yourself must not interfere in the process, because what we often find is that a police officer is arresting or attempting to arrest the driver. You, as the spouse, the partner, the family member, now starts pushing a camera into their face and start arguing and start harassing and pulling them back. And once you do that, you too could be arrested for obstruction. So be very careful of that. When you come across, just tell him, officer, if you don't mind, well, you don't actually even have to ask their permission. You just tell him, I am going to be recording this. this interaction for my safety and security and for your protection as well. And if he's got nothing to hide, there should be nothing, not a problem. If you see a traffic officer that, or any police official for that matter, without a name tag, already that should be a red flag. Be extra careful of those kind of scenarios. And it's important for you to understand and to remember that at the end of the day, you can accept the fine and then you can go to a court and go and dispute it. So that is still your right, your recourse. You don't have to feel that, oh, I have to pay this. If you are unhappy with it, you can definitely go and have your day at recourse. There's a couple other things you should also remember. They can't just arrest you willy-nilly for nothing. There has to be a suspicion of a crime that has been committed. Either you were driving absolutely recklessly and negligently, you overtook 6 cars on a barrier line on a blind rise, they have every right to arrest you for that. If you exceeded more than 40 kilometers per hour of the speed threshold, if the maximum speed is 100 and you are doing 145, they will arrest you because there is no fine for that, right? So in that case, again, your cooperation is going to be needed. Don't turn it into an unnecessary, ugly thing. And of course, you have the right to they'll allow you to make a call to your lawyer to try and get a bail secured, etc. But let's hope and pray that it doesn't actually get to that stage in the first place.
Inshallah. Before I let you go, when I'm driving, especially long distances, what really gives me anxiety is the cattle on the side of the road. You see them, especially if you going into the rural areas or you driving down um, between like P and East London and East London down. If you're doing that former Transkei route, beautiful part of the country, but also very common to see the cattle grazing on the side of the road. And that, how do you drive there and how do you approach navigating through when you see cattle on the road? Because really that really gives me anxiety when I'm driving around its stretches.
Sister Miriam, yes, I must say I totally can relate to that section of the route, the N2 between PE and East London, and of course, obviously from East London to also going down towards Coxted. Beautiful part of our country, I must say, absolutely rolling countryside, those little huts and the cattle,
Mhm.
etc. But it's also what is called the most notorious, second most notorious stretch of road in South Africa. It is dedicated, in fact, it is labeled as a hazardous location, a HAZLOC. So, particularly for the reason you just mentioned. Number one, you might find some sections of that end route having potholes, but a great many of these areas here also carry challenges with regards to pedestrian traffic and of course the presence of stray animals. So rule number one, I've said this to anyone who cares to listen, as far as possible, absolutely avoid traveling at night. It's just not good. It's not in South Africa. A lot of people will tell you, no, if I travel at night, there's no traffic cops and I can open up. That very thought is heartbreaking because you now are already forsaking. You're going to look for trouble. It's not so much a law enforcement issue now. It's your safety and your security. Because in South Africa, if you hit a pothole, you stop on the side of the road, you could be attacked, right? So the whole issue of stray animals, extremely careful. Rule number one, don't travel at night. And if it happens that you have no choice, you have to travel at night, then don't drive. In advanced defensive driving, there's a thing called don't drive faster than your headlights can see. So on dim mode, your headlamps show a distance of 45 meters. On bright mode, it shows 100 meters. Now, for you, if you are traveling at, let's say, 65 kilometers per hour, if you have to apply emergency brakes, it will take you approximately 45 to 50 meters to bring the car to a halt. That means by the time your headlights actually picks up the silhouette of a cow or a donkey or whatever, you will not have sufficient space. The stopping distance of the vehicle won't make it before you actually hit that cow. And you obviously, when you hit that cow, you're going to hit it not at high speed. You're going to hit it at a speed where about 20, 30 kilometers per hour because you've been braking all along. By that time, when you hit that cow, it's literally going to go through your windscreen, and you have absolutely no chance against a cow that weighs 400, 500 kilograms. So, again, exercise extreme caution. Animals can cause you to sway, to lose control. Once you hit the dirt at high speed, you're going to overcorrect. You can capsize the vehicle. I'm making all this very graphic. I know it probably makes you feel unsettled, but the fact of the matter is, we've got to do that so that you understand just how serious and how hazardous these kind of situations can be, particularly at night.
Okay, and then maybe if you're passing these stray animals or herds of them, then to put your hazards on so that cars behind you can also slow down and then just stop and let them, especially if they're crossing over, just
Yeah.
stop. Is that something advisable?
Yes, yes, certainly. Look, in any condition, remember by law, you are not supposed to switch on your hazards whilst the vehicle is in motion. But the traffic officials turn a blind eye to it because they understand that you are trying to warn other motorists. So even in pouring rain, you'll see people who drive with the hazard switched on. It's confusing to others because they don't know now when are you going to turn or change lanes, etc. But what you're saying in your case, right? Firstly, make sure the following distance is in place, right? So don't be driving too close to the vehicle in front, because if he applies brakes trying to avoid a dog or a donkey, you don't go smashing into the boot of his vehicle. By the same token, also as an advanced driver, you'll keep an eye on your rear view mirror to see who's behind you, how far is he, and how fast is he. Because it's no use you are maintaining a safe following distance, you are maintaining the speed limit, but behind you is a guy who's literally sitting on your rear. If you have to apply brakes for an animal crossing or something, he's going to be into the boot of your vehicle. So you need to be able to create some distance. You'll say, what is the right thing to do? If somebody is sitting so close to you, basically what is called tailgating, I would suggest move slightly to the left of the road. If there's a yellow lane, you would be allowed to move to the left. Remember, the rule of yellow lane is you are allowed to move under two conditions. Number one, as long as the distance ahead of you of 150 meters is not obscured or impeded. That means nighttime you can't do that. That means on a blind rise you can't do it. On a sharp curve you can't do it. But that is the one part of the rule. The other part is that you understand it is the prerogative of the other driver whether or not they want to allow you to pass. So you can't flash at them, you can't hoot to them and show them signs to say move to the left. It's entirely up to them. So I would suggest if there's somebody sitting on your tailgate, just move slightly to the left. Indicate once or twice, flash the indicators indicating to him to pass. So your body language of the vehicle suggests that you're moving to the left and they can safely move to the right. And yes, if it does come to the situation where you are slowing down, switch on your hazard so it's a warning to the vehicles following you that there's some other danger ahead. They need to slow down as well. And keep an eye on your rear view mirror also, because if you see this person behind you is coming at a high speed, they are distracted, they haven't seen your brake lights coming on or that you have come to a stop, you may want to escape to the right or to the left. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Jazakallah so much. I've learned a lot. I'm thinking, we took our learners test those years ago, and I think, yeah, I didn't even realize this. To have your emergency on, you can't when the car is moving. But thanks for informing us this, and I think it's important every so often that we do get a lesson in terms of road rules and regulations, because this also this also avoids all that unnecessary, if you stop, what are your rights and not, and what I'm doing and I'm not doing, and things like that. Even as you've said, the 40 kilometers above that, because then if you are doing like about 121 in a 80 zone, you
Yeah,
could get locked up.
definitely. Absolutely. And it happens. Just a quick one, Sister Mariam. In Johannesburg, particularly, they have what is called the high speed unit. They comprise of about 10 or 12 BMW 1 Series, all of them unmarked. All they have is just JMPD branding on the door, just on the door, the badge. So be extra careful about them. You'll find them here on the Ellendale off ramp. You'll find them at Deep Stewart. You'll find them on the Lenasia Road. They are looking. Their job is just to deal with high speed. So, and believe it or not, they get some kind of an incentive from the amount of people that get arrested. So clearly they want to justify their existence and they're looking out to catch people. And today, doing 120, you don't even feel it in some of these cars. It's like a breeze. So just be extra careful.
Shukran for that, and all the advice and tips. And you also be safe and have a good family time and rest and relaxation to you. And shukran for your time. Jazakallah so much. Inshallah, next time you will be the mufti. You'll have a year's uh, experience. So inshallah, we'll refer to you accordingly then. And Jazakallah for all the advice. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're going to take a break and we well into our next hour. It's just gone 9:09. And this hour is brought to you by Africa Muslim Agency. Hashtag Fired Up with Hafiz Imran Chunara, Personal Excellence Mentor and CEO of Africa Muslim Agency. So let's take a short break and we will continue with our news and views this Thursday morning.